What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today I'm going to talk about the pilot episode to Earth Abides. Sort of like The Dude Abides, but Earth is the dude now. Um, this is a new series that's on MGM Plus, and it actually has audio description, which is why I'm talking about it, because I wouldn't bother otherwise. MGM Plus is like, for some reason, From doesn't have audio description, which is mind-boggling to me. It's by far the series that anybody talks about on MGM Plus, but hey, you know what? And I did, Forrest Whitaker had like a new show, like they tried to give him, like recreate that Godfather. I did watch the first episode of that, I just didn't like it. I can't remember the name of it. Um, this is like the second thing I reviewed that was on Emperor of Ocean Park. That's what it was. There you go. I reviewed that. So this is the next thing on MGM Plus that I noticed that had audio description that was starting off, where I figured, hey, yeah, let's see what it is. I liked it. Actually, this might be the first thing on MGM Plus I'm actually watching. So I kind of like those post-apocalyptic thriller type shows, sci-fi movies, and this is that. We follow the whole series is, it felt very Walking Dead, like season 1 episode 1 Walking Dead. Like when Rick comes out and like the world is completely different. It had that vibe to it. It had Last Man on Earth vibes, the Will Forte comedy. It had all the vibes of things that I've seen before, but it could very much have its own path forward. So we open on our main guy who's out in the woods. I don't know, he's on some sort of like spirit journey or something like that. He's in the wilderness. It's actually sort of unclear at the very beginning what the show's about. I thought, honestly, I was like, is this show about living in the wilderness? Because I didn't know anything about the show. I was like, this is going to be a really boring show. Because he's just like out there climbing in the woods and he gets bitten by a rattlesnake and he tries to suck out the venom. I'm like, oh my God, you can't do that. Do you not? That's like people who pee on jellyfish. It's like, we have YouTube now and Google and those old wives' tales of things that you're supposed to do. Research. I hate it now. Like, we're propagating luckily he does get like sick and so he doesn't die, but like it doesn't solve the problem. It doesn't show this being like the solution to the problem, which was great. I liked that a lot. But so he kind of like passes out for like 3 weeks, and in the 3 weeks, man, that he's, I don't know, recovering from a rattlesnake bite, that he sort of sucked the venom out, but then it would have sort of also absorbed in his mouth. So, um, anyway, he he woke up and the world ended. And it's like he came back and like the world's over. He has like this like text message on his phone. It's like from his mom. It's like, we love you. And he's like, what? And then he comes back and like there's nothing. Like everyone's dead. Um he goes back home. His parents are dead in bed. He has to bury them. Uh and like it's vacant. Like he can't find anybody. Obviously, if he was to start going like home to home, he'd probably just find dead bodies everywhere. He does find some, and the audio description was really good on. This is either, by the way, this is either Claudia Dunn or Paula Hoffman. I couldn't tell. I want to say Paula Hoffman, also possibly Claudia Dunn as narrator. Those are my guesses as to who the narrator is for this title. And they they went into the stores and stuff like that were on the people's faces for whatever the pandemic was that happened. You don't get a lot of information because there's no way for him to get information, like really, because he was in the woods and he came back and the world was over. It's kind of amazing how quickly. And yeah, the series, he ends up finding other people who were quote unquote immune. And you know, they talk about how they sort of explain what happened. And one dude has like a video, and I'm like, this is a bit much. Writers, this is a bit. He's like, I don't know, I have this video. Why would you have a video? Why did you tape the news like as a record for who? Like, for who? Um, in case, I don't know, people like this guy show up. I don't know. But he has like he filmed the news of the unraveling, so we get this like super cut of all these different. That's the thing. Other thing I didn't like too is it was like different reporters, different news channels. It was like, did he was he really like he was really trying to get like different viewpoints on the world ending? I don't know. It was that did not work for me. That was the one thing, the biggest thing probably in the writing of the show where I was like, this I get what you're trying to do because exposition is hard sometimes, and but also at the same time, I don't know that we need to know, like, and we need to watch that news footage. I don't know that that needed to be there. Um, the oral history of it, it's obvious that no one's around, like, um, they didn't even need to go into great detail. Like, I thought kind of what they were talking about was enough. He meets a man and a woman. It's not important because I think they died. To be totally honest. So, and she mentioned, she talks about how, she watched her kids die on Zoom, and he was like, well, what happened? And he's like, well, they were so worried that they had overplayed the first pandemic that they underplayed the second one. And by the time they realized what had happened, it had spread too much and killed everybody, basically. So I guess this is like a cautionary tale, like has something to say about COVID. I don't know. And like, is this somebody who thinks that we shouldn't have been wearing face masks during COVID, or we had the correct response, and if we don't do it again, this is what'll happen when COVID 2 comes around. Um, I I can't quite pick up on what they're putting down, but they throw that out there as being sort of the thing, and I kind of didn't need the supercut. I got enough from their conversation. um, sort of like in the first episode, like of Walking. I'm gonna keep comparing it to other shows. Walking Dead, like Rick finds Morgan, and like it would have been weird if Morgan had been like, by the way, I know you've been. Oh, you were asleep in the hospital, and when the zombie apocalypse happened. Oh, you in a coma? Oh, well, luckily for you, if you'll follow me into my living room, I recorded it on VHS. Let's watch the news. I just thought, if I'm gonna want to rewatch something over and over again, it's gonna be the news, old news about the world ending. I'm just gonna keep watching this over and over. Um, no, he didn't do that. They just kind of talked about what happened. Like he found somebody who was still alive, and they had a conversation. And I felt like there was enough color in that conversation. There was a reason why Walking Dead went on for like 11 seasons, is because originally what Frank Darabont set up with in the beginning was really good. And it was very sad to see him like separated from the series. But he did set up properly. He knew what kind of story to tell and how to tell it. Here, you were doing it fine. Then it's like you just threw on something that didn't belong. He also has these like montages of like driving like 120 miles an hour through the desert where he's like white knuckling and he's like, I'm like, gas, bro. Gas is gonna be a problem for you. um, so he leaves. He goes into they're in Vegas, and he meets these two people in this like they're the only people in the casino. Dude seems really nice. The woman's super depressed. And as he leaves, you hear these two gunshots. So that's why I'm like, I think they're dead. Either that, or else one person tried to shoot themselves and missed, and then shot themselves again. I don't know. It was off camera. She does make a little comment to him about it, and then he chooses to leave. Like he's like, I don't want to be a part of this. So he goes out, and he almost hits a dog, but then he adopts the dog and calls it Lucky because he thinks the dog was lucky that it wasn't hit by a car. Luckily, also, this dog doesn't try to bite or eat him. Like, it's apparently been able to find food on its own because it's still a friendly dog even after a period of time. So it's still just like a tail wagging dog. I guess I don't know how animals. There's also a deer that's shown to be alive. So I don't know how this pandemic affected animals. But so maybe he'll be able to hunt and fish and stuff like that. He, you know, we'll see. I thought it was very interesting that in the guy in the Vegas Strip, he was chopping vegetables. I was like, it's been weeks. Were those frozen? What are you chopping? What are you, sir? Please step away from the rotting vegetables. I mean, like when you think about like the amount of time he's in Vegas, like, do they have a garden? Is he growing vegetables already? Like, what's happening here? So, no, it's not perfect, but there's enough here. There's enough there that I'm excited, and it's the kind of show that I personally like to watch. But I kind of, I see the imperfections, and I see the things. He goes to the library and he like steals some books, and he's like, "Well, I guess these books aren't coming. The late fees are gonna pile up on this one." It's like, I don't know. I hope the show has more fun with him being by himself, and we don't find like some weird ass like large community of people. I hope it doesn't become like The Walking Dead where they're like there's like a city of lost souls somewhere, or Twisted Metal or anything like that. So, um, yeah, I do like the series, and I think the audio description was really pretty good. And if you're interested in MGM Plus, you have to subscribe through Amazon to get the audio description. Like, it has to be a Prime channel add-on. The MGM Plus standalone app is not built to support audio description. It's weird, I know, but they're working on it supposedly. At some point in the future, they plan to. I think probably at some point in the future, MGM Plus will just become Prime, like kind of what they just did with Freevee, and what Paramount Plus with Showtime did. They just kind of start rolling things in together. So a lot of consolidation happening. Or maybe they'll keep it as a standalone. I don't know, but I have a feeling it'll at some point they'll just become Amazon originals. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna give Earth Abides B plus. I'm excited to see another show, another episode of this, and I think you will be too. Anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I will see you guys on the other side.